Hello and good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever, wherever you are. My name is Lizzie and I am very excited to be making this video. I have not made a video in a very long time. And it's super funny because I was just looking back at some of the ones that I had made in the past. And I was so freaked out about like what I looked like and how I sounded. And as you can tell, I probably do not care what I look like right now because I have not only cat ears on, but I look exhausted and tired and all of the things that, I do not like to look in public. So, anyway, it was interesting. I made this video today because I'm in the process of moving and it is seriously like the bane of my existence right now. And I definitely understand it's first world problems, but it is December 2015, almost the new year. And if you are alive in a human form right now, you know how intense the energy has been as of late. The last couple weeks have been like so intense and so tumultuous, but also very kind and gentle at the same time. It's like these really opposite experiences juxtaposing one another, creating a lot of contrast and a lot of internal combustion, which is not always the most fun thing to experience, especially if you're a sensitive, empathic, light worker, or just, have any sense of your emotions and feelings at all. It has been pretty rough. And it's also like, it's not just me. I've heard, people in all different countries and states and different genders and heard it on, people's like Dorian Virtue's videos and other prominent uh, um, energy healing, astrology type people are all talking about how intense the energy is lately. And it's one thing to hear about it and it's one thing to experience it in a certain way, but it's one thing for it to like kind of take over as much as it has. And so I think that's really why I was guided and kind of forced to make this video right now because I am somebody who has struggled with emotional intensity my entire life. I've definitely been somebody who thought I was depressed and thought I was anxious and thought I was all these things. And really, I come to find out that, like, yeah, sure, some of that is there, but really, it was just a lot of sensitivity to the energy of the world and the energy of other people and the energy of my own process. And when you're that aware, it's kind of like having a really heightened sense of smell or sense of hearing or sight. It's like you get any sort of excess of like noises or light or stuff like that is just really like off-putting. And so when you're sensitive to energy and the energy gets intense, you can't really hide from it. You can't really run away from it. You just have to accept it for what it is and do the best you can to take care of yourself. And so that's what I've been really learning to do and really acting on, I guess you could say, in the past few weeks, which is kind of like a misnomer because my acting on things has really been to not act, to rest and to relax and to do things that are enjoyable and fun. It doesn't mean sitting by myself, hiding in a corner in my room and not going outside. It means being around people, but it means being around specific people, particular people that are not challenging and are not, very controversial or confrontational. Um, and it means doing things that are very gentle and kind and loving and that I enjoy. And it means giving myself plenty of time to rest. It means having a balance of having activity and then also having resting time so that way I don't get, too kind of spacey, which is what happens if I relax too much. But I'm also not, too overly amped on my adrenaline junkiness by being way too active because it is winter. Even if it's sunny outside, it is still winter time. And so our bodies, habitually we developed resting in the winter time. But what I also really wanted to share was just this concept of what's really helped me lately deal with because I've had a lot of emotional and just life challenges coming up. I'm moving. I'm in a new relationship. I just am having challenges with some of my closest relationships in my life. I've been having some interesting stuff going on with my work and like kind of stepping up and taking on more responsibility. So there's just been a lot of anxiety provoking stuff and a lot of fear provoking stuff. And a lot of it comes from a place of not being certain of what's going on, not being certain of what other people are thinking or feeling, an uncertainty of me not being capable of what's going to happen. You know, it's like all these things. Am I making the right decisions? A lot of questions are coming up, and that can cause a lot of ungroundedness, a lot of dissociation, a lot of spaciness, and then if I'm trying to interact with people and in the world, it kind of creates this push-pull tendency. Like you can see my body doing that, and it's like really uncomfortable. It's like I either really want to be, moving forward or sitting, I just want to be in a consistent movement, energetically and physically. But when I'm questioning things, I'm sure you guys understand that sometimes you're like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's like this really uncertain place of that can create a lot of anxiety. And the way that I deal with that, because I have felt like that for a very long time, the way that I've learned to navigate that is to not, first of all, to not make it wrong. It's not wrong for me to be feeling the way that I'm feeling. I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, and that's pretty much it. It's not wrong for it to be cloudy. It's not wrong for, there to be traffic. It's not wrong for there to be like, stuff going on in the world. It just is the way it is. And so I have to learn to accept the way things are. And the way that I do that is by telling myself this isn't wrong. I'm feeling these feelings, and I do have a pretty strong daily meditation practice, which helps me do that. I highly suggest cultivating one. If you're somebody who has a hard time accepting things, because it really helps you be mindful. And that's what really that acceptance comes from, is just being mindful and aware of like the reality and being okay with it. It's the whole power of now thing, Eckhart Tolle. But so if you can allow yourself to just breathe and just be okay with where you're at, and sometimes that means calling someone who loves you and knows how to like ground you and bring you back down from the spinning out place. And sometimes it means going outside, putting your feet on the earth. Sometimes it means just sitting and taking some deep breaths. There's different ways of doing it. I did it today just by sitting down and turning on some, energy healing YouTube video that helped my brain kind of come back to balance. And I was like, oh, I'm feeling this way, and that's okay. And it really just kind of cut through the anxiety and through the fear. And once I became an acceptance of how I was feeling, it kind of allowed, I have this belief that underneath everything, we really do love ourselves and we really do support ourselves, because underneath everything, we are our soul, we are connected to our higher selves. It's just all the stuff that we've taken on through our lifetime that blocks all of that. So once you can sit and quiet your mind, then the truth can come through. And so what happened to me was this realization of like, oh my God, the reason I'm feeling this way is because I feel overwhelmed, because this past year has been really hard, and I overcame a serious concussion that I had last year. And so of course, when I'm going through all of my papers and all through the stuff in my apartment as I'm preparing to move, of course it's going to feel a little hectic, because I wasn't the most organized person this year. I was recovering from a brain injury. Like, hello, of course I would be feeling like this. Of course it feels overwhelming. And just that understanding and just that compassion like really soothed me, and it really brought me to this place of acceptance and this place of love for myself. And it's really cool, and I'm very excited, because usually I need other people to help me do that. And this time I just did it by myself. And it's like a muscle, and the more you do it, the more easier it gets. And I also put these ears on. That one's kind of falling off. Because they remind me to not take myself and my life so seriously. Like, I am very, very lucky to have a place to move to. I'm very, very lucky to have stuff to go through. I'm very, very lucky to have a body and a computer, and to have, electricity and all this stuff that I can take for granted if I'm not paying attention. And so when I wear these ears, it kind of like cheers me up, and I forget about them, and then I go look in the mirror, go into the bathroom or whatever, and I'm like, it just makes me laugh and remember that, not to take everything so seriously. So hopefully this has helped you a little bit. I'm going to be putting out more of these probably because I feel the intuitive guidance to do so, just because it is a pretty hard time, and I know what that's like to go through hard times, and how to do so while keeping your heart open to yourself and others. So many, many blessings to you, big hugs to you, and know that you are safe, you are loved, and you are amazing and perfect just the way you are. Take care, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.